Welcome, and congratulations for making it this far. It tells me that you're not yet ready to give up on living out your dreams, and you still have hopes to work through your bucket list. An ancient Chinese proverb says that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Well, I've got good news for you. If you choose to embark on a journey to financial freedom, while it will require some effort, perhaps push you past your comfort zone and require hard work, it's nowhere near 1,000 miles. And it's certainly not uphill. My name is Anthony Peroni, and several months ago, I was where you may be now. Nothing much saved for retirement. Living comfortably, but certainly not extravagantly. Mostly living paycheck to paycheck, stashing away just insignificant amounts of money. Most of my investments in stocks and bonds have shrunk considerably. And let's face it, the magic of compound interest won't do me much good, given where I am in my life. It's too late. That ship has sailed. Now, my story started out pretty bright. I took the traditional route, the formula that I was taught would bring me success. But I was a pretty ignorant 21-year-old kid. My life plan looked the same as those of most of my friends. If I worked hard and excelled in school, I'd get into a good college and graduate, and I did, with a degree in mathematics. I'd then take a job that I believed would carry me to the promised land of financial independence by the time I reached 55. I did. I went to work in one of the big five accounting firms. All I had to do was work hard and stay focused. Now, there were a few fundamental flaws in all this. First, I soon developed the mistaken belief that my self-worth was equivalent to my net worth. Second, my anticipated financial independence was still dependent on an employment model where, even though I was paid handsomely, I'd essentially signed up to be an indentured servant for life. Finally, I was entirely concerned with myself and the creation of material wealth. My wife, children, God, and even my own health took a back seat. I didn't realize it at the time, but I'm sure I was on a path to a lonely, miserable, and probably pretty short life. Well, after 20 years of that, I actually arrived. I became a global partner in a very well-respected firm and well on my way to the seven-figure club. Fortunately, my wife and I continued to live modest lives and didn't succumb to the temptations afforded by my crazy high income. Well, then it happened. A series of events outside of my control and a few bad decisions that I must personally own proceeded to forever change the trajectory of my life. Needless to say, my 55th trip around the sun was not heralded in financial freedom and independence. You see, when my firm collapsed, I found myself unemployed for the first time yet, with an ego the size of Texas. I suffered from deep depression, and you might not be surprised to know that I even occasionally wondered whether my life was still worth living. To add insult to injury, the collapse of the firm also resulted in the loss of everything I had already saved for retirement. Plus, I was saddled with an exorbitant financial liability that was compounded by legal fees that I spent to fight it. Sadly, after careful consideration, finding no other alternative, I had to declare Chapter 7 bankruptcy. It was a very dark season for me. After all, when you measure your self-worth by your net worth, you can imagine I was feeling pretty awful about myself. Eventually, as a result of having an awesome, loving wife and a very supportive kids, my self-image and confidence slowly improved. I don't think it's a coincidence that I also began what would become a very positive and lifelong relationship with God. But because I was still solely dependent on my employment as a source of income, and I was now making pennies on the dollar of what I used to make as a global partner in that Big Five firm, we never seemed to be able to get ahead of things financially. As market conditions ebbed and flowed, I flitted around a number of smaller firms, ultimately either leaving out of boredom or being nudged out by downturns in the business. On a few occasions, I even had to resort to low-wage, unskilled labor jobs just to pay the bills. On more than one occasion, I had to swallow my pride and ask my family for money. I began a search for other income streams, but was either limited by the required investment levels to start, lack of sufficient savings to support us until that business turned a profit, or total lack of time, given I was still forced to work my full-time job. About 10 years ago, I began doing research in earnest, trying to find a business I could embrace to generate additional income that wouldn't be limited by the number of hours I'd have to trade for compensation, income that would be passive, repetitive, and sustainable. I tried several things, the first of which was multi-level marketing. In that one, I was selling household products used by every family in America. The problem with it was that the real money wasn't made from the product sales, but by how many downstream sellers I could recruit to work under me. The products were good, but overpriced. The friends and family started running from me, fearful that I'd give them the hard sell to sign up. You can imagine that temporarily damaged more than a few relationships. After many months trying to build that business with no success, I decided to try yet another MLM. This time, a popular identity theft protection service. Again, the model was flawed for many of the same reasons as the household goods company. A glutton for punishment, I went into yet one more MLM, this time selling discounted phone and energy services. Another bust, despite my best shot. Not only did these experiences steal away considerable time and money, but honestly, they left a really, really bad taste in my mouth. There was something really slimy and unethical about them that bothered me. It was only after these experiences that I learned what the expression Ponzi scheme really meant. Finally, enter Amazon FBA onto my radar. If you're not aware of it, it's a program run by the world's largest online retail giant, Amazon. In the interest of time, and I really do appreciate that you're still with me here, I won't bore you with all the details, but the idea is simply this. Find a high-selling product, put your own spin on it, and add extra value or competitive differentiation, and then find a manufacturer to make it for you, have it shipped to an Amazon warehouse. The seller is responsible for the idea, the sourcing, and the listing on Amazon's site. Amazon is the customer order entry and delivered a consumer vehicle. They handle all the money exchange with the customers, take their handling fees out of the proceeds, and send you your net profit. Now, even though I have a background in consulting, doing retail, supply chain, procurement, and manufacturing, the hurdles associated with doing all this work were burdensome for me. It required also a significant out-of-pocket investment to source the product, and the fees of everyone involved in making and moving the product became more and more prohibitive. Then when the pandemic hit, my original thought was that demand on Amazon would skyrocket, my business would boom, and my fortunes would be made. Well, the new reality ended up becoming a showstopper for me. The cost of direct materials, packaging, logistics, and manufacturing services continued to rise. At the same time, manufacturing capacity shrank due to factory closures around the world, and lead times got longer and longer. Then they became entirely unpredictable. So I bailed. Now, I need to thank you again for making it this far into the video. I really appreciate your patience, and I gave you all that background on me for context, hopefully to make me a little bit more relatable to you and your situation. If you click on any of the buttons below, you'll be taken to another shorter and more entertaining, I promise, video where you'll meet another guy who innovated an outstanding educational training program and online community around freelance digital marketing. He has personally refined this business model and has used it to drive over $200 million in sales over the past 10 plus years. Now, the key takeaways from the video are the attributes of the model and an offer to purchase a specially packaged version of the program to get anyone started. This 15-day business challenge actually gives you everything you need to quickly set up your own business in as little as a few weeks. I think you'll really love the video and be energized by it. Now, it's certainly not a get-rich-quick gimmick, nor a Ponzi scheme like so many so-called side hustles you see advertised online. It's the real deal, and it blew me away. So much so that I decided to buy it and use it myself, and then introduce it to help other people who are in a similar boat that I am in. And nothing would delight me more than seeing thousands of my peers radically improving their lives and living their dreams. I know that you'll have to invest some effort in making your business a reality, but let's get real. Anything of value requires some meaningful investment of energy, right? Because, say it with me, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Here's what I know and love about the model and the program. It's got minimal upfront investment, negligible operating cost, no special skills required. Anybody can do it, and thousands do. The market will never be saturated. In fact, it will only continue to grow. There's no inventory involved. Everything is digital. And getting into this business will make you a better and happier person. The skills you develop are extremely transferable, and the program even outlines 4 different types of businesses to which it can be effectively applied. The business is scalable, limited only by the sweat equity you're willing to put into it. The business is sustainable, and finally, it is highly ethical and very much above board. Well, I've spoken for far longer than I wanted to. It's admittedly a personal problem I have, and I am working on it. I encourage you to click forward to watch Dave's video. Follow me on social media, where I'll continue to share my experiences and results with applying this training being offered here. I'm truly excited for you to begin. You now stand on a precipice to set your life on a radically different and extraordinary trajectory. This new life will not only affect you, but your loved ones, your family and friends. I hope to see you in the community and look forward to getting to better know you personally, should you choose to. Are you intrigued? Good. Check out the 15-day business challenge. It's the exact same video that got me started. I loved it, and I'm confident that you will too. Statistics suggest that only 30% of the people who start watching videos like this make it to the end. And of those, only 3% actually click through to buy the low dollar item that's being offered, in this case the 15-day challenge. So go ahead, be part of the 3%. You'll be glad you did. Your time has come. This is your time. It's time to invest in yourself. Don't give up on your retirement because of problems in your past, and throw away your self-limiting beliefs. Take back your future. Take back your life. I can't wait to walk by your side as you do. One last thing, please look out for some emails from me, Anthony Peroni. May God bless you this day and give you the discernment and wisdom to do the right thing. Click on the button below and start changing your life.